Ladies and gentlemen, prayer is one of the most powerful tools given to humanity. It is the bridge that connects earth to heaven, the medium through which we invite the divine to intervene in our daily lives. Yet, as vital as prayer is, many people engage in it without understanding its true purpose or the preparation it requires. Today, I want to share with you a life-changing principle. Never pray without doing this first. Prayer is more than a ritual or religious obligation. It is a powerful and intentional act that connects humanity with divine authority. Understanding its purpose is foundational to engaging in meaningful and effective communication with the Creator. Many approach prayer with a sense of duty or as a last resort in difficult times. But the essence of prayer goes beyond pleading or petitioning. It is a deliberate alignment of one's will with divine purpose. Prayer originates from the Creator's intention to collaborate with humanity. It is not about convincing God to act, but about participating in His established plans for the earth. This partnership reflects the Creator's design for humanity to have dominion as outlined in spiritual principles. When a person prays, they are exercising their unique role as a steward of creation, bridging the spiritual and physical realms to bring about change. To truly grasp the purpose of prayer, one must understand its foundation in relationship. Prayer is a dialogue, not a monologue. It requires both speaking and listening. The Creator's desire is not just to hear requests, but to communicate wisdom, guidance, and strategies. When individuals approach prayer with an understanding of their position as co-registrants under divine authority, it shifts the focus from merely asking for solutions to embracing a higher perspective. This is the essence of aligning one's desires with a greater purpose. Prayer also serves as an act of submission and humility. By praying, an individual acknowledges their dependence on a higher power and their need for guidance beyond human limitations. It is an admission that while human effort is valuable, divine wisdom is indispensable. This recognition positions prayer as a tool for accessing resources, insight, and strength that can only come from a connection to the Creator. Another dimension of understanding the purpose of prayer is recognizing its role in manifesting divine will on earth. The Creator works through willing vessels who pray with understanding and intention. When prayers align with principles and promises, they activate a spiritual process that brings unseen realities into visible outcomes. This reveals prayer as a dynamic force that requires knowledge, faith, and preparation to be effective. Moreover, prayer is an expression of faith. It declares confidence in the Creator's ability to act, even in situations that seem insurmountable. Faithful prayer demonstrates trust in the unseen and acknowledges that the spiritual realm governs the physical. This act of faith is not passive but proactive, inviting the individual to cooperate with divine processes. Understanding the purpose of prayer also reshapes the motives behind it. It transforms prayer from being self-centered to kingdom-focused. The greatest prayers are those that seek to fulfill divine purposes rather than personal agendas. When individuals pray with this understanding, their requests carry the authority and alignment needed to bring about lasting change. In essence, the purpose of prayer is about partnership, submission, and transformation. It is the bridge between divine will and human action, empowering individuals to live out their mandate with clarity and effectiveness. Without this understanding, prayer becomes hollow and ineffective. But with it, prayer becomes a powerful tool for aligning with divine authority and enacting positive change in the world. Gratitude is the foundation of a heart that is prepared to engage in meaningful prayer. Before approaching the Creator with requests or petitions, it is essential to cultivate a spirit of thankfulness. Gratitude shifts the focus from what is lacking to what has already been given. creating an atmosphere of reverence and humility. It is an acknowledgement of divine provision, past faithfulness, and the countless blessings that often go unnoticed. A spirit of gratitude transforms the attitude with which one approaches prayer. Instead of coming with complaints or a sense of entitlement, a thankful heart approaches with reverence, recognizing the privilege of being able to commune with the Creator. Gratitude aligns the heart and mind with a higher perspective, helping the individual see challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and divine intervention. This shift in perspective is critical because it lays the groundwork for faith, which is essential for effective prayer. Thankfulness is also a powerful expression of trust. When one gives thanks for what has already been done, it is a declaration of faith in the continuity of divine provision. It acknowledges that the same power that worked in the past is still active and capable of meeting present and future needs. This trust deepens the relationship between the individual. Moreover, gratitude creates an environment of peace. When the mind and heart are focused on what has been received rather than what is missing, anxiety diminishes and a sense of contentment grows. This state of peace is vital for prayer because it removes distractions and fosters a deeper connection with the divine. It allows the individual to pray from a place of assurance rather than desperation, which ultimately enhances the effectiveness of their petitions. Gratitude is not just a reaction to blessings, but a proactive choice. It requires intentionality to reflect on the good things that have been received and to express thanks for them. This practice cultivates a habit of appreciation that carries over into all aspects of life. Over time, a grateful heart becomes more attuned to the small blessings that might otherwise be overlooked, further enriching the individual's perspective and deepening their connection to the Creator. The act of giving thanks also magnifies the Creator's role in one's life. By acknowledging blessings and victories, both big and small, the individual recognizes that every good thing comes from a divine source. This recognition not only honors the Creator, but also strengthens faith, as it serves as a reminder of the countless times prayers have been answered and needs have been met. In addition, gratitude has a profound impact on relationships with others. A person who cultivates a thankful spirit is more likely to extend grace, kindness, and generosity. This outward expression of gratitude reflects the inner work being done through prayer and communion with the Creator. It becomes a testimony of faith and a witness to the transformative power of a thankful heart. In essence, cultivating a spirit of gratitude before prayer is not just an act of courtesy or tradition. It is a powerful spiritual practice that prepares the heart, strengthens faith, and aligns the individual with divine purposes. It sets the tone for meaningful communication, ensuring that prayer is approached with the right attitude and mindset. Gratitude opens the door to deeper intimacy with the Creator and a greater understanding of His goodness and faithfulness. The preparation of the mind and heart is a critical step before entering into prayer. Prayer is not merely about speaking words, but about engaging in a profound spiritual connection, and this requires intentional readiness. Without preparation, prayer can become mechanical, lacking the depth and focus necessary for meaningful communion with the Creator. Preparing the mind and heart ensures that prayer is not only heard, but also impactful. But that is proponent to the kind of personal development that prayer becomes. The mind is the gateway to understanding, and it must be free of distractions to fully engage in prayer. Life is filled with noise, responsibilities, worries, and countless thoughts competing for attention. If the mind is cluttered, it becomes difficult to focus on the purpose and direction of prayer. Preparation involves quieting these distractions, creating space to focus on the Creator and the intentions of the prayer. This can be achieved through reflection, meditation, or simply taking a few moments to breathe and center oneself. A calm and clear mind enhances the ability to connect with divine wisdom and hear what is being communicated in return. Equally important is the preparation of the heart, which is the seat of emotions, desires, and motives. The heart must be aligned with the right intentions, free from bitterness, pride, or selfishness. If the heart carries unforgiveness, resentment, or ulterior motives, it creates a barrier to effective prayer. Preparing the heart involves self-examination and a willingness to confront and release anything that may hinder the connection. This process may include seeking forgiveness, extending grace to others, and realigning one's desires to reflect divine principles rather than personal agendas. Humility is a vital component of heart preparation. Approaching prayer with humility means recognizing one's dependence on a higher power and acknowledging that human wisdom and effort are not enough. It is an act of surrender, laying down pride and self-sufficiency to embrace divine guidance. This posture of humility creates an open and receptive heart, ready to align with the will and purposes of the Creator. Another aspect of preparation is cultivating faith and expectation. Prayer requires belief in the power and willingness of the Creator to respond. A heart that is doubtful or skeptical diminishes the impact of prayer. To prepare the heart, one must intentionally stir up faith, recalling past experiences of divine faithfulness or meditating on promises that inspire confidence. Expectation fuels prayer with hope, turning it into a dynamic interaction rather than a mere ritual. Preparation of the mind and heart also involves aligning with divine principles through study and meditation. The Creator's intentions and promises are often revealed through spiritual teachings, and understanding these provides a solid foundation for prayer. When the mind is filled with truth and the heart is aligned with divine values, prayer becomes more focused, intentional, and effective. Ultimately, preparing the mind and heart is an act of reverence. It demonstrates respect for the sacredness of prayer and the relationship it represents. It is not a step to be rushed or overlooked, but a deliberate act of positioning oneself to engage in meaningful dialogue, ready to receive and respond to divine direction. Seeking knowledge of God's will is an essential step in approaching prayer with purpose and effectiveness. Prayer is not merely about presenting personal desires or needs. It is about aligning with the Creator's intentions and plans. To pray without understanding His will is like embarking on a journey without direction. Knowledge of His will ensures that prayers are rooted in truth, aligned with divine purposes, and positioned for fulfillment. Understanding God's will begins with recognizing that it is knowable. The Creator has revealed His intentions through principles, teachings, and promises. These revelations serve as a guide, showing humanity the path to live in harmony with divine purpose. Seeking knowledge of His will requires intentionality and dedication, as it is not something that is passively received but actively pursued. This pursuit often involves studying sacred texts, reflecting on divine principles, and seeking guidance through meditation and prayer. Knowing God's will also requires a relationship with Him. The more intimate the connection, the clearer His voice becomes. Just as a close friend or mentor can convey their desires without the need for lengthy explanations, a deep relationship with the Creator allows for an intuitive understanding of His intentions. This relationship is cultivated through consistent communication, trust, and a willingness to obey. It is in this relationship that one learns to discern between personal desires and divine purposes. A critical aspect of seeking knowledge of God's will is humility. It requires setting aside personal agendas and preconceived notions to embrace a higher perspective. Often, human desires and emotions can cloud judgment, leading to prayers that are self-serving or short-sighted. Humility opens the heart and mind to receive wisdom that transcends human understanding, allowing for alignment with a greater plan. This surrender is not a loss of individuality, but a recognition that the Creator's wisdom surpasses human limitations. Another key component is patience. Discovering God's will is not always instantaneous. It often involves waiting, listening, and trusting the process. This waiting period is not idle but active, filled with reflection, learning, and growth. During this time, one gains clarity and develops the maturity to handle the answers that come. Patience teaches reliance on divine timing, reinforcing the principle that answers are revealed when they serve the greatest purpose. Faith plays a pivotal role in seeking knowledge of God's will. It is the belief that the Creator desires to reveal His plans and that those plans are good. Faith fuels persistence, encouraging continued pursuit even when clarity seems elusive. It also brings peace, knowing that the Creator's will is always aligned with what is ultimately best for all involved. Finally, seeking knowledge of God's will transforms prayer into a partnership. Instead of merely asking for intervention, prayer becomes an act of cooperation with divine plans. It shifts the focus from "what do I want" to "what is best according to divine wisdom." This alignment empowers prayer with authority, as it is rooted in eternal truths rather than fleeting human desires. When one seeks His will before praying, the act of prayer becomes a powerful declaration of faith and purpose, creating alignment between heaven and earth. Acknowledging authority and dominion is a fundamental principle that transforms the way one approaches prayer. It is the recognition that the Creator has ultimate authority over all creation, and that humanity has been entrusted with a measure of that authority to fulfill divine purposes on earth. This understanding reshapes prayer from being a plea for intervention into an exercise of delegated power, where individuals partner with the Creator to bring about His will. Authority begins with the Creator, who established the laws and principles governing all things. His authority is absolute, extending over the natural and spiritual realms. To acknowledge this authority is to submit to His sovereignty, understanding that all power originates from Him. This acknowledgement fosters a sense of reverence and humility, as it places the focus on His wisdom and supremacy, rather than human limitations. It reminds the individual that prayer is not about persuading the Creator to act, but about aligning with His already established will and purposes. At the same time, acknowledging dominion involves understanding the role humanity was given as stewards of creation. From the beginning, humans were entrusted with the responsibility to manage and govern the earth under divine authority. This delegation of dominion means that prayer is not only a request for divine intervention, but also a means of exercising the authority entrusted to humanity. When individuals recognize their role in this divine partnership, they approach prayer with confidence and purpose, knowing they are called to be active participants in fulfilling the Creator's plans. This understanding of dominion also highlights the power of words and actions. Authority is exercised through declarations and decisions that align with divine principles. Prayer becomes a tool for enacting change, not merely hoping for it. When individuals pray in alignment with the Creator's will, they are exercising the authority given to them to bring about transformation in their circumstances, communities, and the world at large. This responsibility underscores the need to pray with intentionality and understanding, ensuring that prayers reflect the Creator's heart and values. Acknowledging authority and dominion requires faith. It is the belief that the Creator's power is not only supreme but also accessible through the partnership established with humanity. Faith empowers individuals to act boldly, trusting that their prayers have the capacity to influence outcomes because they are rooted in divine authority. It eliminates fear and doubt, replacing them with a confident assurance that what is spoken in alignment with divine will carries weight and impact. This recognition also calls for accountability. Dominion is not about control or self-interest. It is about stewardship and responsibility. To acknowledge this is to understand that the authority granted to humanity must be exercised with integrity, wisdom, and a commitment to the greater good. Prayer, therefore, becomes an act of surrender, where one seeks guidance to ensure their use of authority aligns with divine intentions. Ultimately, to acknowledge authority and dominion is to embrace the privilege and responsibility of being a co-regent under the Creator's rule. It elevates prayer from a passive act to an active declaration of faith and purpose, aligning human will with divine power to bring about change in accordance with eternal principles. Faith and expectation are at the core of effective prayer. Without them, prayer becomes an empty ritual, lacking the conviction and confidence needed to bring about transformation. Faith is the assurance that the Creator is both willing and able to act, while expectation is the anticipation that what has been prayed for will come to pass. Together they create the atmosphere in which divine intervention is not only possible, but inevitable. Faith is the foundation upon which prayer is built. It begins with the belief in the Creator's character, His goodness, power, and faithfulness. To pray in faith is to trust that He is who He says He is, and that He will do what He has promised. This belief is not based on circumstances or visible evidence, but on the unchanging nature of the Creator. Faith requires looking beyond what is seen to the greater reality of what is unseen, trusting that the spiritual realm governs the physical. Faith also requires knowledge. It is strengthened by understanding the Creator's principles, promises, and past actions. When one knows what the Creator has said about a situation, faith is ignited because there is a foundation of truth to stand on. This is why preparation and study are critical. They build the confidence needed to pray with boldness and assurance. A lack of knowledge can weaken faith, while understanding fuels it, enabling prayer to be anchored in divine truth. Expectation flows naturally from faith. It is the belief that the answers to prayers are not just possible, but certain. Expectation positions the heart and mind to receive what has been asked for. It shifts prayer from a passive hope to an active anticipation, where one prepares for the fulfillment of the request even before it manifests. This preparation demonstrates trust, as it reflects a belief that the answer is on its way. Faith and expectation also shape the way prayer is expressed. A prayer filled with faith is confident and unwavering, even in the face of delays or obstacles. It declares what is believed rather than dwelling on what is lacking. Similarly, a prayer with expectation is forward-looking, filled with gratitude for what is to come. It speaks as though the answer has already been received, reinforcing trust in the Creator's ability to act. The combination of faith and expectation also influences actions. When one truly believes and expects, it prompts steps of obedience and preparation. For example, someone praying for provision will begin to act as though the provision is already on its way, aligning their behavior with the anticipated outcome. This alignment of prayer, belief, and action is a demonstration of true faith and expectation. Faith and expectation also bring perseverance. Even when answers seem delayed or circumstances appear contrary, they sustain the individual in prayer. They eliminate doubt and fear, replacing them with confidence and peace. This persistence is not born of desperation, but of certainty, knowing that the Creator's timing is perfect and that His plans are always for good. In essence, faith and expectation are the keys that unlock the power of prayer. They turn requests into declarations, transforming prayer into an act of partnership with the Creator. By focusing on faith and maintaining a heart of expectation, one creates the conditions for divine intervention, aligning with the Creator's purposes and making the unseen a reality. In conclusion, prayer is far more than an act of speaking words. It is a deliberate, powerful engagement with divine authority that requires preparation, understanding, and alignment. Before approaching prayer, it is essential to understand its purpose, cultivating a heart of gratitude, preparing the mind and heart, seeking the Creator's will, acknowledging authority and dominion, and focusing on faith and expectation. Each step positions the individual to not only communicate effectively with the Creator, but to act as a partner in fulfilling divine purposes on earth. When prayer is approached with this intentionality, it transcends mere requests and becomes a dynamic act of alignment with divine principles. It shifts the focus from personal desires to eternal purposes, empowering individuals to pray with boldness, clarity, and effectiveness. This kind of prayer carries authority, creates transformation, and reflects the faith and expectation required to bring the unseen into reality. By integrating these principles, prayer becomes a transformative experience that not only brings answers, but also deepens the relationship with the Creator, equipping individuals to walk in their purpose with confidence and power.